Hello and welcome back to a new episode of Breaking Boundaries with Naluka. Thank you for joining me. You will see that I am in a new flat with a new background, and that is because I have left Valencia and I am now in Split, Croatia. And in this video, I just wanted to share a little bit of an update as to what that move was like, what it's like so far in Croatia, and yeah, really some lessons and some learnings and some reflections. I think the first reflection I have is that leaving Valencia was so much harder than I thought it would be. I always knew I was going to be staying there just for about 3 months because, as a UK citizen, you will know, thanks to Brexit, you cannot stay longer than that, longer than 90 days. So I always knew it was going to be temporary, but I never expected to make so many incredible friends, to find this community that I just got there and fitted into so easily. And then to be leaving after 3 months, 3 months is just about the right amount of time to start integrating yourself, to start finding, your friendships, your people, etc., and your way around, and then you're leaving. And so it was definitely harder than I ever thought it was going to be. I even ended up having a little bit of a small leaving dinner as well to say bye to people. But I know I will be back at some point. I don't know when, but I know I will be back. Um, and so that's my first reflection. As a nomad, we see this opportunity to keep moving country, and it is a real opportunity. But the downside is that you leave the friendships, you leave the community that you have made in this new place. And so that was something that I definitely wasn't expecting when I started this sabbatical and when I started this experiment. The move to Croatia was stressful. I'm not going to talk too much about it. However, I left at 10 a.m. from Valencia and I arrived at midnight. And I had to take 2 planes and I had to do a self-transfer because there was a layover. And the first flight was delayed, which meant I wasn't going to catch my second flight. And I got to the airport. But thankfully, the second flight was also delayed. However, the systems wouldn't let me check in. So I had to have airport security take me through the airport and kind of fast track me so that I could actually get on this plane that was also delayed. But honestly, had the second flight not been delayed, I probably would have had to have stayed in London for a few nights, or maybe just one night, and caught the flight the next day. So take it from me, I really don't like layovers, and I probably won't be doing them if I can avoid it in future. However, I arrived here and my Airbnb host met me. I am staying in an Airbnb. It's termed a luxury studio, and it is really nice. I'm very lucky to be able to stay here, mainly because the prices absolutely plummet during off season. So I came here in October. But I really like it. I like the fact that I have a bed that is much more higher. In Valencia, I had, one of those smaller beds that's almost like near the ground. I don't really like that. So this bed is much more higher, and I feel like the flat is super cozy and really nice. And I would say my reflection so far on the city is it's so different to Valencia. And I said to myself, I'm not going to compare the two, but it's natural to compare the two. It's definitely much more green. There's a lot more nature. There are mountains, and the sea here is incredible. It is crystal clear. It's beautiful. One of the things I've also noticed is that everyone here speaks English. If I speak to them in English, obviously it's not the first language. Croatian is the first language. But in Spain, I did find it tricky because there were a lot of Spanish people, not a lot, but a few Spanish people who didn't speak any English. And so that was very difficult. Whereas here, everyone speaks English. So it's been easier to navigate in that respect. And of course, I've had to go out and find the nomads again and find that community. And about 5 days in, I did find a group of people. There are a nomad community here, and there are people who are all looking to meet other people, international people, etc. It's smaller than in Valencia because also it's a smaller city, but I'm so grateful to have that. And I remember it was only about 5 days in, and I think we got on to talking about birthdays, and I mentioned it was my birthday on that Sunday. And I was always planning to just spend it on my own because I knew I was going to be here. I knew I wouldn't know anyone. And one guy was like, well, if you want to do something, we're here. I was like, that is so nice. And so on my birthday, I went for dinner. And I just thought to myself how open and friendly and welcoming nomads are, because everyone is in the same boat. Everyone wants to connect with other people. And it's just such an incredible, you find people who are very open minded, very smart, very looking for a new way of doing things. And I have found that so refreshing. I think that's the best word to say, refreshing. And so that was great. That was so nice to spend my birthday evening, with company rather than just on my own. But I'm definitely taking this time to reset. I think that's the most important thing to say, because in Valencia, firstly, I couldn't exercise because I fractured my foot. Secondly, I was eating late because that's the way that the meal times are. I was going out late, and it was amazing and it was fun. But I said to myself, right, when I go to Croatia, I'm staying in a really nice apartment. Let's just reset a little bit. And so I've gone back to my earlier bedtimes and my earlier meal times, which just suits me better. I have joined the gym because I can exercise again. And also, I'm taking the time to just recharge my social batteries a little bit, because when I went to Valencia, I was socializing so much more than I did in London. And I think that's just the way it is. It's a city where everyone walks everywhere, and it's quite small, and there's always something going on, and the day goes on late because it's so sunny, etc. So I was going out quite a lot, more than I think I should be, in terms of what works for me and in what makes me feel centered and balanced. So coming to Croatia now, it's that opportunity to find a happy medium between kind of London and Valencia, and to find that balance between socializing and also recharging my social batteries. Because although I may come across as an extrovert, I'm probably more of an ambivert, and definitely spend my time alone really recharging. It's also a great opportunity for me to really focus on some of my projects more now that summer is over. I can get my head down a little bit. That said, I am looking outside. I'm like, it's perfect blue skies, and oh, wow, it's really, really nice. But overall, I feel like I have settled in pretty well here. There is a level of confidence that you get the first time round moving to a new city that then you can take with you when you move to a new city the second time round, because you have done it again. So this time it felt less scary, it felt like less of a bigger deal. And I am still really in touch with a lot of my Valencia friends, so that is great. And I'm really excited to meet more people here and to get to know them. Although I know that then I'll be leaving and I will feel bittersweet all over again. And this channel really is about giving you a honest and raw insight into what it is like. And I think that is something that isn't spoken about a lot. However, I'm also super grateful for the opportunity to go and explore a new country, to go and explore and to see some of the amazing hidden gems here. I have been swimming in the sea, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I won't go on too much about that, but I feel very, very lucky that that is how I can, spend my weekends, and even after work, going and watching the sunset is such a delight and such a privilege. So that's just really an update. I wanted to come on here, tell you that I've moved, share what moving is like, both the good and the bad. And I am sure I will be recording more videos about my time in Croatia, as well as other topics, as well as this digital nomad experience and this whole experiment that I am on. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you here next time.